Yellow. 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 I gotta turn this on. There we go. Blam, there I am. What's up, everybody? Guess this kind of was looking down on me. Alright, there we go. All good. All good. We fixed it. And we are looking as good as ever to go into some StarCraft 2 here, guys. What's up? How are we all feeling today? We got some pretty amazing StarCraft 2 happening. There's going to be Elazer versus souL. They are going back and forth between these two. And you know what? It is most definitely a nice little... a little bit of a rivalry that these two may have, you know, both fighting for the dominance of trying to get themselves on top of the Polish kind of ranking of Elazer. Let me see actually which one of these guys is rank 1 right now. It is still Elazer. Elazer will still be holding the first rank position. Oh my dear lord! Already, what's up, AX Curie? Thank you so much, Curie. What's up? How you doing? It's an AX right there. Hope you're gonna have some fun with the Vikings. Very much appreciate it. And who is playing today? We have Elazer versus souL. A TVZ best of 9 will be happening today. And afterwards we're gonna be playing some of the Vikings. Of course, this is a stream that will be kind of contributing towards that overall objective, trying to get some people to try out this game. And we'll get it sorted. Alright. Let me move this over here, actually, so we don't have them overlapping. There we go. There we go. Okay, so yeah, they're doing the videos right now. I've looked it up on Elazer. It's been going back and forth quite a bit continuously between souL and Elazer. They both keep taking series of one another, and not a single series really is a full sweep, or at least very few of them are. If it is, it's most likely a best of 3, and even those, I mean, not really. Like, I'm looking back on it. The last time they didn't have a close series was in August. That was a 2-0 in favor for Elazer. It looks like, you know, overall, Elazer may be having a little bit more fortune in their overall bouts. But, you know what, it goes back and forth. It goes back and forth. Monster SC2 as TV rating with a party of 18. What's up? How you doing, guys? Hope you guys are looking forward to get yourself some StarCraft 2 action with Elazer and souL, the two Polish phenoms, as everybody calls them, of course, every day, every single day. They do call them that. Don't you question it. Also, by the way, Hardung Achuds, thank you for the 100 bits. I hope I was a little bit slow with that one with all the other stuff happening, but that's it. How do you get into Alpha X? Alpha X is a, you know, we do allow everybody in as long as you're kind of well behaved. We are looking for active StarCraft 2 players though. So if you want to get into Alpha X and join all the monthly tournaments created for your own league and such, definitely go check it out. It is one hell of a community with a great amount of people that are just, you know what? The one is better than the other. Well, they're all better than each other in a sense. Does that make sense? I don't think it does. They're all great, is what I'm trying to say, and they're all fantastic people in there. That's always are willing to help out with all sorts of stuff related to StarCraft 2, hopefully in particular. And yeah, go check it out. You can join it by joining the Discords, basically. As below in the Twitch boards. Overall, you'll be able to see these things. All right. So what we are looking to do today is, of course, we're trying to raise some people up to try out the Vikings game first and foremost, and of course we will be watching some fantastic StarCraft 2, hopefully. I'm pretty sure these guys will deliver. Very competitive, and because of the rivalry they have going for themselves, I don't think they're gonna let up all that easily. Man, this is weird. They're talking Polish to one another. It's like I'm watching these Korean lobbies again, but now it's Polish people. It's interesting. It's even worse because there's Matisse as well. He's the Polish caster, so covering this event in Polish. It's also also pretty good. But then he can join in there anyway. Anyway, they're looking into it right now. I think they are still considering the map options, as you know, there is a new map pool overall, and a lot of variables that do go into picking these maps right now, right? Not that many large maps, not that many big maps, so who knows? Maybe this is gonna work in favor here for souL overall. But we're gonna have to wait and see. We are gonna have to wait and see. And yeah, just gotta be patient here for a little bit for these guys to get everything sorted. There we go. We got some background music as well. There's no bracket today, sir. There is only the best of 9 between souL and Elazer. It's no tournament. It's nothing too special. Thank you, Canuck, as well for the sub right there. Woohoo, Kozan. Very much appreciated, buddy. 13 months. 13 months. Now that's a man that's been dedicated to Alphax for a long time. Pretty much from the get-go, I'm pretty certain. And there we have another person contributing to the clan right there. It looks like my dear lord's actually contributing. It's fantastic. Fantastic. Much appreciated. Hardunk Chuds. Much appreciated. Prime sub as well. There we go. Starting to grow a little bit again, that sub counts right now. I believe it should be... Oh, wait. I'm pretty certain that is... Oh, no, it is a new one. There we go. There we go. Okay, so it is going to grow a little bit here. There. Yeah, that's always nice to see. Kabalambo, much appreciated. Much appreciated. My dear lord, these guys, they do not know which maps they want to play on. That is something else. I'm certain they'll figure it out sooner rather than later. And if they don't, I'm pretty certain Matisse will force them to just kind of get on the ball here and get everything sorted. That's what I'm assuming. Man, I'm still a little bit. I seem taller right now for some reason. There we go. There we go. Back into frame. Oh, I see. They're deciding how to do the Fido system. That is that's what's happening right now. It is the best of 9, so you know what, that if it does go for a long one, ultimately people will have to redo certain maps. Usually we do the loser pick we do lose a pick for best of 9, and then after all maps have been chosen, you're gonna be able to do the you're gonna be able to pick from whatever you want again. I'm trying to figure out here. Let's just do veto again after 7 maps. All right. Okay. They are getting things sorted, guys. They're on the ball. They're trying to get everything rolling here. Trying to get all the eggs in a row, all the baskets in a row, all the eggs in a basket. Well, they're trying to line up all their baskets with eggs. They're trying to line the baskets with some eggs right now. Oh, these eggs, they are doing something. All right, it looks like we have decided that we are going to do a veto system. If we do get past map 7, we're going to do another veto system. It looks like that is quite something else. That is quite something else. After game, so that would be after 6 games. It would be a possibility that one of these players is going to be on 4 victories and the other one is going to be on 2 victories. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting anyway, but we do have ourselves a map order now. We're going to start off with the map pick of souL, Submarine, one of the smaller maps. Makes sense that he wants to pick this one. Second map, Lightshade, also a surprisingly small map, and that's being picked by Elazer. Now, the third map, Jekennatha, or Jagannatha, as Rashi always likes to call it, will be our third map. Also, souL's pick, so interesting right there. Picking what feels like to me one of the bigger maps right now. Then map number 4, Romanticide. That's going to be Elazer's pick. It's a fairly large map, right? It's not small by any stretch of the imagination. That is certain. And all right, well, getting into the lobby. Getting into the lobby. That's an interesting profile picture from Elazer, actually. I'm not quite sure where that comes from. Where does that come from? Where does that come from? Let me check if I can find it. I'm pretty sure I don't have it, so I should be able to just kind of look at it. Golden Age Archon. Acquired through BlizzCon 2018 War Chest. Ah, okay. Apparently I didn't get myself a War Chest back then. One of the years I missed. Ah, delicious water. All right, well, we're ready to go. Oh no, wait, never mind. Elazer needs a minute. Needs himself a minute. I suppose that's fair. I mean, we did spend a couple of minutes there deciding the veto process and such. I mean, it's fair. It's fair. They're all friends, these three. I'm pretty certain that Matisse provides coaching for both of these players as well. Elazer versus souL time. That's right. You're coming in at the right time. We haven't started just quite yet. We're about to hop into game number 1, where we will be looking at who is looking a bit more fit today. Also, Rip1664. Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Hope you're gonna have yourselves a grandiose old time with the matches coming up right now. I hope so. I hope so. Of course, you know what? While we're waiting, it's a good game to play while you're waiting, right? The Vikings game. It's a city building kind of game, right? So it's one of those games where there is global PvP as well, a lot of social interaction overall. But yeah, you can check it out maybe in between the series. Give yourself something to do. You don't need too much attention, right? As in StarCraft 2, not as much, at least. Still need a little bit of attention, but it's more so one of the games that you don't have to continuously be mindful of what is happening continuously, right? All right, here we go. I'm gonna try to show you guys the profile picture at one point, but right now we're just gonna hop on into game number 1. It is going to be the pink Zerg player right here in the top left side. He is nobody else but Agu's Elazer. Agu Elazer. That's XCOM Agu. That's right. I knew there was another part of that one. Anyway, from Cosmos Esports, the blue Terran in the bottom right side, we have ourselves Mr. souL. Mr. souL. He's come to collect. Mr. souL. I wonder if he's just a souL or if he's missing a soul. A souL sounds kind of weird as well, doesn't it? It sounds like you're trying to say something else and you don't quite know how to pronounce that word. A souL. It's an interesting one. It definitely is. Anyway, the two Polish players right here. A rivalry was born the day when souL really started to get himself into the upper rankings here. Of course, Elazer, a player we've been seeing for such an enormous amount of time already. Really a staple EU Zerg player. Grandiose to still have him around and as well. Still just be on the scene after this much time, you know, and still doing rather well as well. So we, of course, saw some great runs in the GSL versus the World, for example. He did okay in the Kings of Battle as well, right? He wasn't too far off from qualifying. A couple of times I saw that he did get himself rather quickly into the loser bracket, but man, he definitely kept himself rolling in that loser bracket. Did not want to give up too easily. Recently, he beat Max Pax in the Wardy TV European League. Also Elazer, also Goblin. We all know those players are pretty darn impressive players, so he seems to be on point. Did go down 0-2 to Hero Marine, but Hero Marine, of course, you know what? Maybe top two Terrans in the EU overall, right? And that is the best of 3, of course, as well. Hero Marine, really one of the tougher opponents here for Elazer, it looks like. But I'm not saying souL is not as good, of course. He is pretty darn good as well, but it's no... It's not the German fella that managed to get himself on the map, beating down everybody in big tournaments in the EU scene, right? souL, more a player that is, you know what, a really, really good practice partner. But in tournaments overall, I heard Matisse say this in particular. He tends to struggle a little bit with making a transition happen, right? Actually, adjusting, I should say, from one game in the series to the next one. And that is going to be on full display here today, of course. Maybe he's going to be able to prove Matisse wrong. But that was kind of his theory as to why souL doesn't find as much overall success in the tournaments, right? Because you know what, he's a very standard open player kind of, and ultimately if you're in a long series like this one, right, especially a best of 9, ultimately you may start to become a little bit more predictable, and that could be a little bit troublesome overall. Alright. Black Koto, thank you for the follow as well. Thank you, thank you. Lay attack on the way as well. Some roaches here. Very quick roach attack coming up right now. Already a marauder on the field, so that's gonna help out a ton. And a Banshee also. Wait a moment, he's gonna throw down a third base even with that roach horn. He did scout it, right? I'm not going crazy. Yeah, he did scout it. Maybe he's doing this expecting Elazer not to quite go for the aggression anymore, since it did get scouted, right? And that's actually a really good call by souL right now, as we're seeing more and more drones on the production tab. Doesn't look like he's gonna need all too much. He did make some precautions as well, right? He's got that bunker on the high ground in case things were to get dicey. He is gonna be able to have a place to fall back to. And there's the Banshee now, also ready to help out this fight right now. As if there were roaches coming across the field, he would be able to kind of nip it in the butt. Alright, the Hellions here. Do we need to move backwards again? Gonna have to try to avoid engaging those queens all too early. We just kind of wants to deny the creep here. Nice little trick there by Elazer. Getting his creep a bit further forward, of course, using the creep from the Overlord there to immediately put some creep down. A little bit of creative play overall. It's not something new in particular, right? We probably all have seen this already, but you know what? You don't see it enough, I would say, right? Because we always go on about sniping that first creep tumor by the Reaper, for example, or the Hellions coming in to snipe 1 or 2 creep tumors. Oh my god, that's a committal. Things right on the point. It's going to be able to shut that down. 3 drones only falling to that aggression. It's going to come down to the Banshees to kind of pick up the slack right here. Looking for the Queen. Going to be able to get themselves 2, 3 more. Okay, we're starting to get somewhere. There's already Mutalisk also on the way though, so time is ticking for the efficiency that these Banshees can achieve. As soon as those Mutalisk are out, those Banshees, they're gonna have to stick home or stick above the Marines right now. 10 Mutalisk already on the way. It did get scouted by souL, of course, did scan this event happening here, and looks like he's going to be okay overall as well, right, with his defensive setup. He's got some missile turrets on the way. They'll all be completed in time. And, well, only has 15 Marines, actually, right? Stimpack is about to finish up. Doesn't have any medevacs just quite yet. He's going to have to momentarily, but he's going to have to perhaps be a little bit careful. Still, needs to stay on top of the repair on those missile turrets. The Banshees, actually, flying into the Mutalisk guy. A bit of an awkward position overall. And souL decides to move out with the Marines. Very interesting. Banshees on the bottom side also trying to just scoot themselves by, but ultimately the Mutalisk will get them, of course. As we said, they aren't all that useful anymore, so not the biggest of deals. Kind of nice that they were able to delay those Mutalisks from reaching the third base here, in a sense. Fourth base also already on the way for both these players. As the Mutty Mutts also coming in right now into the main base. Circumnavigating the missile turrets, kind of rotating around those places. Catching themselves a lot of those Marines right now. Making it difficult. Is this live? Yes, it is, dude. 215p. Yes, it is. These guys are playing live at the moment. Participating in a best of 9 series here. Nice pickup on that siege tank. The Marines and Marauders, though, not going to be anywhere near the amount that he needs to bust open a potential way into the third base of Elazer here. Siege tank getting himself in position also. It's a scrappy one here for scrappy force for sure for Mr. souL, but ultimately I'm more worried about these Mutalisk. I mean, there's still Mutalisk in this main base, and he still hasn't responded to it. He's just sending these Marines continuously across the field. He's looking to just bust open Elazer at his home base, try to force those Mutalisks backwards, but so far, I mean, Elazer doesn't need these Mutalisks at home, right? He looks to be absolutely fine with just the Ravages, the Banelings, and the Zerglings. Even gonna send some Zerglings right now towards the third of souL, and gonna find some damage sooner than souL even got close to that third, even though he was nearby for so long. Okay, siege tank here helping out a little bit. It looks like the Mutalisk finally had to evacuate the main base, but the third base entirely disrupted right now. Some dropping going on in the main base. This is a pretty nice maneuver, of course. souL, he knows that those Mutalisk are nowhere near the defensive side of things here. So we'll be able to do quite a bit on the other side. Gets the Spire actually as a pick-off right now. Immediately a new Spire on the way. The Mutalisk, ooh, they need to get okay, well, we'll be able to stop this this ball of Marines right now, but oh my dear lord, that is always so frustrating. Just a single Zergling being burrowed right now. Trying to get rid of it. Ooh, look at that! Thank you for becoming a Viking with us and helping us out with the game right there. Much appreciated. But no, this is a lot of links. Those siege tanks not sieged up quite yet. A lot of the Marines getting themselves into a little bit of trouble. But you know what? There is more on the high ground. As long as he will be able to prevent taking... Oh no, oh no. Those Baneling landmines immediately being burrowed there by Elazer. A quick, thorough play. Very, very nicely done. And... well, Elazer is just, he's got the reins of this one. He's absolutely tormenting souL pretty much for a while now, right? souL definitely struggling overall. The supply's not looking all that swell for him. Hive Tech already on the way for Elazer as well. Let's take a look into the units lost tab. It's somewhat equal, but with Elazer already going up to, what is this, 6 bases? It's not all that fantastic for souL, right? Still struggling on the fall. As we are looking to see if he's going to be able to get himself in a new position here. Somewhere where he will be able to get a good fight going. The Mutalisk getting on top of the siege tanks. Will be able to pick off one so far. Doesn't want to overextend. Oh my god, a nice bait into that Baneling landmine right there. It was just a single one, so not getting catastrophic amounts of damage, but still getting a little bit to drop as well in the third here. Ooh, does manage to pick up and leave. Only getting full workers through that aggression right now. Maybe getting a couple of Mutalisk as well would be nice. Okay, yeah, let's get a couple. Kind of makes that worth it, of course, but ultimately he needs more proper trades going into his favor here. It is looking a little bit dicey, of course. Zalgren also helping us out right there. Much appreciated. Oh my dear lord. You know what? souL is kind of stabilizing here, right? Does manage to get himself across the map here and there. There's not that much mining going on just quite yet through the new bases acquired here for Elazer. But they're not quite under a serious threat either. Mutalisk here once more, picking off so many of these Marines that are just struggling. Trying their best to make something happen here, but ultimately, like, the low amount of drones is so far really what he's gotten killed, right? 11 drones so far, and that's it. That's all he managed to achieve. He probably doesn't know about this base yet either. Yeah, he doesn't, so that is also a little bit of a struggle right now. Banelings coming in once more. Siege tanks are in a good position here, though, so... Alright. Fortunately for souL, Elazer does not commit there, so smart move to move backwards in a situation like that. Now we do have the multi-pronged setup, though, from souL, and let's see if he will be able to make something happen this way over here. On the bottom side, right? That's the bottom side. It's gaining some more room to maneuver. It's not that much creep spread. The Mutalisk once more finding a siege tank, a little bit unprotected. Oh, finding two siege tanks actually. Well, still another one a little bit further back. And now in search for more stragglers. Are waiting in this area right here. The Marines again. Trying to target fire the Banelings here. Gets an alright trade on the bottom side as well. Stuff is definitely happening right now. Ravagers not quite being able to pummel down these siege tanks, but ultimately the Mutalisk do come in and finish off the job. The base on the top side does get picked off here, guys, by the way, but more Baneling landmines, and this is not the point of contention, right? This probably is the real point of contention. If he manages to shut out a base over here as well, that would be fantastic. But yeah, also, of course, souL's gonna have to look into getting himself a new kind of tech acquired, right? Oh, nice little Ling detachment right there, avoiding catastrophic damage. I probably should actually keep looking here. There we go. That is 7 SCVs that do go down. More of them will fall, it looks like. Yes, they will. Only a couple more. 8 so far. The Marines are the ones that are in true trouble here. There's those Ultralisks now, of course, putting even more pressure on those Marines to perform up to their the highest standards of the Marine count. Of course, gotta be careful. Overseer doing Overseer things, of course, luring the Bane or the Widowmine hits. Banelings there not going for the SCVs, but yeah, luring the Widowmine hits into the Medifex right there, softening them up quite a bit. Maybe some Mutalisk may find themselves in a good opportunity here now to pick up some Medifex here and there. Okay. We do have quite a struggle now with these Ultralisk. Mostly Marines fighting against this army right here. We don't have that many Marauders just quite yet. 4 Marauders at the time, though, in production. Also, a Ghost Academy getting himself further into the anti-Ultralisk attack. But as we're seeing more Marauders popping up on the screen, we're also seeing the Mutalisk count going higher and higher in the production tab. Oh, no. Oh, Elazer could have gotten some nice connections there onto the Marines, but goes for the Planetary instead. That is absolutely fine also. But then again, I mean, souL's not too worried about it. It looks like has the stuff that he needs to really shut this down. Well, just fly over another command center is the thing. 2 tech labs here, it looks like will fall as well. That's a big deal because we are still seeing more and more Ultralisk coming up. We desperately need that Marauder production to go swimmingly. We can't afford to really slow it down right now with 4 Ultralisk at the same time being produced at the moment. Okay, another base does fall for Elazer here. It looks like souL has managed to stabilize and has managed to actually gain maybe even an upper hand here, right? With this map being particularly small in compared to the other maps, it's becoming more and more difficult here for Elazer to be inefficient as, you know, you kind of want to as a Zerg. Just keep expanding, be inefficient in a sense, right? Get yourself a good old trade where you're maybe not winning all that decisively, but ultimately you're going to have another army ready to go very soon. And, well, souL now on an equal amount of bases with a ton of the bases ready to keep going as well, keep producing here. Ultralisk, Mutalisk getting quite a bit of damage done on this side, but at the same time, oh, those Balings getting good connections though. Yeah, that could be a problem. Mutalisk could very easily clean all of this up right now. It's looking like a base trade, but Elazer a little bit further ahead in the base trade count overall. Now, to be fair, he did lose most of his valuable bases, right? He's not mining from his natural. His third base almost mined out as well. So, looking at the income graph, suddenly a pink spike that drops down into the blue did occur there for a while. But, you know, this is still quite a terrifying army for Elazer. The Ultralisk move in here, trying to get on top of those Marines, but the Marauders and the Medavacs there holding strong for now. It's a scary moment for Elazer. Of course, he wants to just kind of make sure that he will keep souL here. Keep souL off of the mining bases, right? Keep him on 3 base as well, while he is actually expanding. Long distance mining also. It looks like, you know what, if he does get on top of this supply, there are 2 Liberators waiting, so that may actually be an okay kind of army versus these Mutalisk. But ultimately, there's quite a couple of these Zerglings as well. Yeah, I'm not sure, guys. I'm not quite sure if this is going to be a winnable position anymore for souL. He is taking quite a beating here at home. The main base under a lot of pressure. The Mutalisk are forced backwards for now, but only for a moment as the Ultralisk is coming in as well. And the Mutalisk, they aren't quite getting on top. Okay, there we go. Now getting on top of them. A Marine scent. More Zerglings there on the left side as well. There's an Overseer over here. And just Zerglings absolutely everywhere. Making a bloody mess of things. A bloody mess of things. That is for certain. Pew, 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 pew. There we go. 50, I mean, it's 26 supply, guys, versus 133. I think souL is like, you know what, I did a lot of economic damage as well. Maybe if I manage to kind of trade out okay versus the army, I'm going to be able to push across again, but ultimately, not quite being able to do. Bracket for the tournament where Maru is playing in. The bracket where Maru is playing in. Well, I can show you, actually. I suppose. There we go. I got you. I got you. Okay. So, that was game number 1. Just game number 1. Did go back and forth a little bit, but that was a souL's map choice, of course. That was the one he was looking forward to play. So yeah, maybe not the best of sign here for souL overall. We're gonna have to wait and see. We're gonna have to wait and see. I mean, Lightshade, I said it before as well, right? Not the biggest map either. There's a good amount of choke points though, so you know what? It does help out the Terran in a way, up until a certain point with the Widow Mines and the Siege Tank pushes. But ultimately, once you get to something like Lurkus or something like that, this map can be quite efficient for that use as well. There's a couple of ramp areas, right, where you can definitely make things quite hairy to push in and out of with any type of siege units, but we're going to be looking into it right now, of course. We're going to be seeing what these guys have planned for this map right here, right now. Here we go. Game number 2. Game number 2. In the top left side, we find a blue Terran player fighting for Cosmos Esports. He is the Polish player. He is souL. In the bottom right side, we find ourselves a pink Zerg player. Also Polish. The pink Polish Zerg. And he is... Elazer. So nice again to be able to decide my own pace for these types of things. Alright. Now, we could dissect that game a little bit further, right? So, we saw an opening for Elazer where he went for the roaches. That's kind of where everything started off from. And then he didn't go roaches because he got scouted, right? So, souL actually having quite a nice upper hand in the earlier parts of that game. Especially because, well, not only did he scout the roaches, he also anticipated Elazer to not commit to the roaches anymore, because it did get scouted. So, he was able to kind of put himself in a position where he was able to get himself a nice economic lead in a way, right? In comparison to some other TVC matchups that we see sometimes, right? That was a pretty good position overall in the earlier parts of this game. But then it kind of happens, right? It kind of happens suddenly. Elazer going into those Mutalisk. Being able to just get himself on top of that main base of souL, as souL was trying to push out with most of his marines. He did not want to waste time trying to chase and hunt down Mutalisk that would just fly away immediately the second when he would arrive. Which makes a lot of sense as well, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, it makes a lot of sense. But ultimately it didn't quite work out, right? Elazer still having enough at home to make it work. Neo Artica, thank you for being a Viking also. Much appreciate you helping us out, getting us, you know what, a little bit more more of a success with the whole thing and the Viking sponsors thing. Very much appreciated, man. Okay, and I hope you're gonna have yourself a little bit of fun with it as well, right? A little small strategy game to kind of play in between of things overall. So, as I was saying, right, souL not quite finding a lot of success with the attack. And Elazer, well, he found anything but misfortune in the main base of souL. He found add-ons, he found low number of marines, continuously picking them off, making life very difficult for souL. And then, ultimately, suddenly souL starting to make a comeback, starting to stabilize. But ultimately, I would say that just the transition from Elazer hitting a little bit sooner than souL was ready for. Not quite being able to set himself up for the Ultralisk, for the a lot of links and banelings as well, still continuously hitting everywhere. And to Mutalisk. Ultimately, souL kind of falling apart at that stage of the game, where it looked like Elazer was slowly starting to get even ground again. At least that's what I thought was happening. It kind of was in a sense, but ultimately Elazer just had such an advantage from the earlier parts. I'd say that he was quite able to put himself into a nice position there later on also. Losing a couple of bases when you're maxed out already isn't the worst case, right? It just means you're not going to get as much bank. It means that you're not going to be able to get as much, as quick of a remax as soon as you lose some stuff. Definitely was an interesting one. Definitely felt playable for souL, but ultimately being a little bit difficult in the end with the Ultralisk. Hellbats going to be arriving here as well. Going to try and get a little bit of a Hellbat push. That is a lot of them. After all, I know they're still Hellions right now, but sooner or later they will spread their wings and become beautiful little Hellbats butterflies. Viking here also trying to deny these overlords, right? That is all a part of it, I'm pretty certain. Trying to hide the fact that he is building this quick armory to facilitate these Hellbats. Now, okay, is going to drop the Hellbats. I thought for a moment he may just put them in the Medivacs and boost them right on top of some links or something. I thought that would be a pretty cool move, honestly, not gonna lie, but instead we're seeing him doing the regular waddling their way towards the queens and try to catch the queens there. I like the way that Elazer is doing this, though. He's moving to a place where he's going to be able to ring around once more and set up a defensive front again here. Bailing's not quite having speed just yet, so this is a dangerous situation still, nonetheless, for Elazer, even though he did buy himself a little bit of extra time with his queen movement. And oh my dear lord, is he getting himself now the connections that he needs there with those Bailings. Honestly, I'm not even sure if there were the money connections overall that you could get, right? It could have been a lot better ultimately, but just having enough stuff there, and that is kind of terrifying there for souL, spending quite a bit of money trying to get something like that to occur, to go into his favor. Now you may say, well, overall the units lost tab, right? Looking okay for souL. Looking kind of equal still, but I mean, you need to take into account as well that he didn't invest into economy here for a long time. So there's already more money for Elazer in the bank. He's got more money to do things with, which means ultimately he is going to be able to set him up a little bit better here for the mid game that is coming up. Yeah, Wukesh saying indeed, yeah, 69 drones at 630 while defending a Hellbat push as well. It was rather impressive, I think. You know what, I love the fact that he went up with the queens instead of backwards. Because if we went backwards and the Hellbats were kind of chasing down the queens, ultimately that would open up that... would open up the drone front as well, right? It would be a little bit easier. I suppose souL still could have tried to just rotate into the drones into that third base, but... was an interesting one. An interesting one indeed. Buying him more time, getting those Banelings out in time as well. Now, souL's, of course, this is a nice follow-up as well with this, right? Because we're not just using the armory now for the Hellbats, but also to immediately go into those Widow Mines because of the Widow Mine now being stealthed immediately as well. Oh, this is a bit unfortunate. Ooh. That didn't work. But yeah, so it's a nice little follow-up you can do with this, I suppose. Still got to be careful. Because he did put himself a little bit behind overall, but it's still a playable position. We saw him earlier as well, almost tying things up again. Nice drag from that mine right there in the with the Overseer into the Marine Army. He's going to have to pull backwards here. souL deciding to be a lot more aggressive than he was the previous game. Well, hold that thought actually. To be fair, he was very aggressive the previous game. It just happened to be the fact that we had Neutalisk in his own base, so he was being punished for being this aggressive. This time around, it looks like it's going a little bit easier for him, right? Bit more relaxed sailing overall. Just more and more Marines are coming in on every angle. It's harder for Elazer to really manage this, but of course we also have those lurkers on the way, and that is pretty much a ticking time bomb right now for souL, who does not seem all too ready for it. He is making the siege tanks, right? He has figured out, alright, well, you're making the Hydras, I need to start transitioning into siege tanks. Let's take a look there. Also still getting the drilling claws, always love that upgrade. And another factory, wouldn't be surprised to see another tech lab on that one. That's exactly what we're getting here, so... yeah, starting to ramp up to have a anti-lurker army here. So still pretty well on time, I'd say, right? With the transition here. Overall supplies, not looking all too impressive overall. for either of these players, I have to say. So yeah, definitely seems like this is going to go into the a little bit of a later part of the game here, at least. Don't know how quickly and how many lurkers we're gonna get, of course. May involve a bit of a killing of a base very quickly if he does decide to just ram his way towards those expansions here. Oh, this could be unfortunate. Oh, this could be unfortunate. This is not a place where you would normally look at for those medevacs, right? Not one where you would be on your toes already. The siege tanks here on the bottom side also not quite sieged up, so Zerglings immediately on top of things. Cleaning it up with banelings, not the most efficient, but ultimately, I mean, those siege tanks, they are very valuable. We only get 2 of them at a time, and souL needs to have them for the lurkers that are coming up. So every single siege tank that is being cleaned up by banelings here, absolutely worth it. Alright. Well, this is a good trade for souL. This is a very good trade for souL. A bit surprised the Elazer is still trying to run in here. Coming in with these Hydras as well, taking out another siege tank. Huh. He's playing a little bit of the souL style right now, isn't he? Do we even have a lurker then? I don't think we do. He's just planning to go straight up for the Hydra-ling Bangling style here and not make that transition. Instead, he's going to go for the Vipers here, right? Viper's a great tool against those siege tanks, and siege tanks a great tool against the lurkers, which you are kind of expecting to come out as a transitional point from this army composition that we're seeing from Elazer. But so far, not much that is happening to suspect any type of transition here from Elazer. It looks like this is just the way he wants to do things. A couple of links here will be able to start killing off some of the SCVs. Okay, 3 siege tanks in a good position here. Where are the Vipers? There's 2 of them. They do have Blinding Clouds and Abducts, so let's see what he decides to go for. Okay, only a single Blinding Cloud. A very quick unsiege there from the Terran player, realizing that he needs to get out of there. Very cool to see. Only 13 workers did die so far, and only 1 for Elazer here. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Not the greatest connections there, of course. Anyway, so let's think this through, right? Elazer here, still with the Hydra-ling Baneling army. Oh, this could be fun. I'm loving this by Elazer. Oh, ho, ho, ho. A scan finds all 3 of them, though. Worth the effort, right? Sometimes you just kind of lose those 3 banelings, but that is all okay. That is all okay. We're considering the value you're going to be able to get if the one time souL doesn't scan, right? And Ghosts now on the way also. Yeah, I mean, the Ghosts are still a good addition, right? Even if we don't have Lurkers, even if we don't have Ultras or Brutes or anything of the sorts, the Ghosts still going to be able to EMP the Vipers and allow for a little bit of a better trading potential here on these Marines, on the siege tanks and such. Needs to target down the Banelings. It's doing okay. Doing okay. Maybe. Is there still a Widow Mine here? Yes, there is. Okay. Safe point to move back towards. Elazer realizing he doesn't want to try to commit there. As souL, you know what he is? He's definitely taken control of this game right here. Trading incredibly well. Overall. Has the upgrade advantage pretty soon also. +3/+3 here versus just the +3/+2 weapons. And you know what? That is not too shabby. Here we go. Again, another push. I think souL is just doing a lot better here now that he doesn't have Mutalisk continuously destroying all of his production facilities. So those Banelings also coming in one by one. Not getting the great trades that he was looking for. Just a couple of links here. Trying to be pesky as well. There's a single Ling here also. We'll be trying to get some work done. Marines in the main base finding a spawning pool. It's always a great pick-off here. No recreating of the spawning pool occurring just quite yet. So maybe Elazer taking a while before realizing that. In fact, he did lose that spawning pool here. I mean, there is a lot of moving pieces here after all right now on the map. Zerglings as well on the top side. A spotting supply depot is going to be picked off right there. But more reinforcement from souL also coming in. More burrowed banelings as well, actually. This one could be big. This one could be pretty darn nice. And, oh, there we go. That's a good one. Stunting the overall progress this army can make here on the top side. Quite a bit. Oh, wait a moment. Yeah, he never made that spawning pool. Wukash, you're right. He made an Evo chamber instead. He doesn't have a way to make Zerglings. He only has 20 Zerglings right now. 15 of them are turning into Banelings, but he is strapped. He is strapped for Lings. Not something you hear a lot of Zergs say, but yeah, it's going to be forced to just make Hydralisk for now. Banelings getting a good connection there, as well as souL still pushing forwards here. He does have a couple of siege tanks. Do we still have Vipers? We have one Viper. I'm going to have to try and find where that one is. It's nowhere near any of these fighting areas at the moment. Definitely a unit that could be worth getting over to the location where those siege tanks are, of course. And these Hydras, actually, they are doing a bang-up job so far, right? Not that much for the Terran here to try and defend against this. At the same time, though, of course, souL getting a lot of damage across the field done as well. Okay, leaning up more of the bases, but ultimately this is quite the terrifying ball of Hydralisk coming back out of that base of souL again. As you know what, he's getting ready to take out the top right side base as well. I mean, souL again, it looked like he was starting to gain control of this game, but ultimately things are starting to spiral out of control once more. Elazer showcasing some fantastic multitasking, being able to hit all of these places at once, while we have souL also attacking his own base, right? While he's trying to defend against souL and actually doing a pretty good job, still putting down Baneling landmines, still being able to kind of shut all of this down. So a very, very great job here by Elazer. Still just needs to clean up this one army here of souL, I would say, and he should be in an okay spot. Supply still going equal, though, overall. It is 12 medevacs, though, to be fair, and only 22 SCVs that remain at the moment. And then, to be fair, I mean, Elazer doesn't have that much mining himself either, does he? Actually, both these bases pretty much out for now. Not that much going on right here. Ooh, Widow Mines. Only getting 2 Lings. Those Widow Mines, every single good Widow Mine shot here, going to be incredibly important. Oh my dear lord. Those Banelings that were still there, burrowed for such a long time, suddenly trying to make their appearance, but not quite being able to do so. Elazer taps out, realizing he doesn't have much to fall back onto. And souL ties up the series right there. It is so incredibly difficult to read what is happening and who is actually ahead in this one. My dear lord. It's like, you know, they're just taking punches and getting beaten up continuously. I know they're beating each other up, but for some reason this is reminding me of that one race that people do. I believe it's somewhere in the UK. Maybe it's Scotland or something. Or maybe it's Belgium, actually. I'm not quite sure. But where there's this big hill. And then people roll down like a barrel of cheese down the hill. And then people have to run after the cheese. And then they have to catch the cheese. And then you just have this entire group of people tumbling down the hill as they're trying to chase cheese. It's kind of how it felt like to me. Overall. Also, Papa Mitch, thank you for the sub. A 3rd month being added to the menu right there. Much appreciated, man. That's Gloucester. Ah, Gloucester. I see. I see. Thank you. Thank you for making me a little bit wiser. But yeah, just both of them continuously rolling down the hill and crazy cheese rolling. Exactly. But yeah, they were just continuously taking a massive beating, and then they just wouldn't stop. They just kept going down the hill, further and further. It's rough. It's rough to see. Thank you, AK. Thank you very much. I appreciate you being here again. I very much appreciate you, you know, all the support you give. That's very kind. Alright, so, I mean, once more, we're tied up, fellas. We are looking at a 1-1 score in the bottom left side. The red Terran player fighting for Cosmos Esports, he is souL. His opponent here in the top right side, the pink Zerg. Another Polishman, he is XCOM Agu, Elazer. It's definitely an interesting match right here. The battle to prove which one is the more dominant factor right now in Poland. At least in this matchup, I suppose. Alright. Another base comes down here for Elazer, as is per usual. Refinery being set up there by souL as well, as is per usual also. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Nothing we can point at and laugh at to these players, as they are both professional players that know what they're doing. As we can clearly see. Which can be unfortunate overall, if that was what you were hoping we were going to do. I don't think that is something anybody would like to see in these moments. Of course. Bada bim, bada boom. A command center just was made. So, alright. Now, it definitely felt like to me Elazer kind of stuck around on that Hydra Link Bane tech for a long time, right? He was trying to incorporate the Vipers in the composition also, but ultimately, I think I doubt that he made more than 2. Maybe he made 3, but I am certainly not made 4. And in the end, we only had one of them remain, and one of them was just sitting around in that 3rd base for a long time, or 4th base actually, I should say. Not quite being able to make things go his way, and ultimately you have to wonder, right? Why did Elazer not transition? He is kind of known for his more aggressive play in a sense, right? That is how he made his name. Being the aggressor, being the person taking control in the early game, doing a little bit of cheese here and there, perhaps, as people would call it, but ultimately being able to execute it up to a point where it becomes very difficult for anybody to hold. As we have another follow. We have a couple of follows, by the way. Johnny Crazy, DreLolJ, and Hellrider, Arias, and Silly the Reese. Little funny boo-boo as well, actually. Much appreciated, guys. Alright, so, as we are considering, right, what Elazer could have done differently. That's the question right here. Now, I'm not saying that this is the exact way that he should have gone. Just saying that, you know, there were a couple of potential things he could have done. He could have tried to get himself the other spellcaster, right? The Infester, fungal growth versus these bio players can be absolutely lethal. He could have gone the Lurker route. He could have gone the Ultralisk route again, right? Another way. But ultimately, it felt like the Link Bane Hydra just kind of has its moments where it stops being as efficient as you may hope it is, right? It's a very good composition, but ultimately, it has moments where it kind of falls off in efficiency, and that is when souL is also maxed out, and he's also on. He's got the Widow Mines, he's got the Marines, the Marauders, and they do just a ton of damage overall. Philly Vanilli, thank you for the follow also. Philly Vanilli. We're again seeing the Viking opening here from souL, and this time around it is not looking like he is doing it to hide a Hellbat push. That's actually a good point as well, right? We started off with a Hellbat push that was held absolutely amazingly. Like, Elazer was in such a good position after that, and still he was not quite able to make it work. Was making it work for a while, but ultimately it kind of fell apart as, you know, soldiers got too efficient against his composition. Where does that bridge lead to? Almost looks like the bridge from that Thor movie. Alright, got a couple of those drones here. It's nice to also be active with those signs at moments like these, of course. Gonna scramble up a little bit of the communication with, you know, our drones are under attack. Whatever type of stuff Elazer listens to, whichever commentator. Oh my dear lord, that's quite a couple of drones going down right now. The Liberator as well in the natural base here, target firing more of them. 13 going down in total. That is a lovely pick-off right there. As we're seeing a blue flame coming down as well as more factories right here making Thors. We have ourselves a mecha, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody ring the mech alarm. Not quite sure if there is one, but anyway. Elazer's going to have to figure this out, of course. He's going to have to see that this is mech. And you know what? I think he may have already figured this out. He's making roaches at the moment. He's getting the ranged attack upgrades, road speed. He is quite committed to a defensive setup. You cannot play Baneling into mech. That is just a no-go. That is... You know, it's something people sometimes did still when the Banelings were alright against mech units. Well, the heavy armor units. Nowadays, I mean, oh my dear lords. If you see Banelings rolling into a Thor, you're never gonna want to play Zerg. Pretty much. That is what happens. You're like, well, these units, they just don't do anything, do they? Why would I play a race? Well, the units don't do anything. That doesn't make sense. Alright, coming in here actually with these Thors land in the pockets of the medevacs, ready to put some hurt on these roaches. But yeah, there's such a good force already assembled here for Elazer. He is completely ready. And a quick evacuation has to take place. Still Zerglings here actually finding quite a bit of damage. Finding a Cyclone, finding a couple of those SCVs as well. Let's see what if they will be able to pick up more stuff right now. Elazer's staying on top of things. The SCVs will be pulled off the line. Not a single one of them falls, so what brave little soldier boys they are. That being said, this is looking rather dangerous here for souL, of course. Those roaches doing incredibly well against the low army counts that souL has. It looks like souL actually was anticipating Elazer not quite yet to go for such a massive count of roaches. The Biles more so being targeted onto the Thors, so the siege tank still going to be able to get a lot of value here. Getting a ton of value actually, shutting down most of those roaches. Gonna have to be careful. Lynx as well coming into the fray. Not that many Hellions remaining actually, so that could be problematic already. You know what? I think we could call this problematic already, to be fair though. Oh, SCVs. Only 2 of them go down miraculously. Going for a drop with 2 Hellions right there. He knows he needs to get aggression somewhere else. He needs to get something to the other side right now. Needs to find a way to put Elazer back on his side of the field, as right now souL stays on the 2-base economy here. That is going to be abysmal for him, right? Look at the income advantage right now. Another base coming up as well. Elazer going to shoot up in the overall income there quite quickly. I'm surprised he's trying to hit these Biles on the Thors. Would much rather see them trying to hit the siege tanks, but hey, can't win them all, I suppose. Oh, that's rough. That is rough indeed. Okay, here we go again. Nice dodge on this with the siege tank there, actually. Great stuff there. What is this? StarCraft. StarCraft 2. Yo, clever. Well, have a great evening, smart guys. I see. I guess he did not want to see StarCraft. Oh, Swarm Host. This is a fantastic answer to the army composition that souL was going for right now, right? Starting off with a ton of roaches and the Ravagers. Ultimately, looking to make life difficult here for Elazer, or I mean souL. And then as souL is transitioning into these siege tanks, right, to counteract these roaches, so suddenly the Swarm Hosts show up. You've seen this being used a couple of times now versus the Protoss. But I don't see why it wouldn't work against a Terran, in particular when the Terran does go for the mech army, right? So getting himself the Nidus Worm, so it's not completely out of the out of fashion just quite yet. Oh, sorry guys. There we go. Good amount of these locusts hitting the fields, and you know what, the BIOS as well getting connections here. Doesn't even need multiple waves of locusts, just kind of needs one. GG is called. Yeah, that's a rough one. GG. Elazer takes game number 3. Viper Lurker would be GG. I mean, apparently the Swarm Host also were GG. I think there was a lot of stuff that you could do, right? I mean, we can take a look. You can kind of see it right over there. Overall, just this is the army value, right? You can see this is where it goes for souL down in this moment in time. Trying to get up there again, but then like Swarm Hosts just appear, like a gazillion Swarm Hosts, making things very difficult. And yeah, that's a rough one. That's a rough one. But anyway, Elazer taking the lead right now. What beats mech? It's Swarm Host. Well, it depends on the type of mech, right? If you have mech that is more so orientated to the battle mech, I would say Infestus with Fungal. Absolutely fantastic. And then you can kind of go with Banelings, or you can go with, well, I guess you can go with Roach Hydra as well. But you want to have something for Lynx as well. If it's more so a mech orientated with siege tanks, you can get yourselves some of the Swarm Hosts, right? Swarm Hosts are incredible against siege tanks because, well, first and foremost, they just fly into the in the sky, right? Then when they drop, the siege tanks can't attack them. The other siege tanks can. They start doing friendly fire. Your army's gonna melt, the Terran army. It is not gonna have a great time. Very difficult to fight against. Then Thors. Thors, well, they are quite readily being beaten by Hydralisk and Roaches and such, right? You can get yourself some Vipers as well, and ultimately, if it's becoming a very, very late game situation where there's Thors, siege tanks, everything in between, very often a burrowed group of Infestus with Neural Parasite will do rather well. So yeah, you can try to burrow, get in from a different angle. Then Neural Parasite, a ton of the siege tanks and the Thors. Everything starts attacking each other, and then you go in with the Roaches, the Hydras, the Lurkers, whatever you have available. And then, of course, Vipers. Vipers do pretty well against mech siege tanks also, right? Blinding Clouds, absolutely fantastic. Ling Bane waves with Ravagers, killing high value targets. Worst beast. Thor is the best counter. Thor is the best counter to pull. Thor. That's right. Yeah, Ravager Biles is also, you know, a nice answer to the siege tanks. Sometimes it can get to like a level of siege tanks where it becomes very difficult for Ravagers and Banelings to actually engage. If the supplies are kind of equal, right, you can't really make that work anymore, but ultimately, if you put yourself in a position where you don't let your opponent get there, right, being able to continuously trade with Ravagers, Banelings, that can definitely work. That can definitely work. What's up, everybody, by the way? Well, thank you so much for all the follows that we're getting here. Again, I mean, it's not the King of Battles that we're doing. It is just a best of 9 between two very, very solid players, though. Of course, Elazer and souL. We got ourselves a little bit of a sponsorship as well. It is a game called Vikings, Clash of Clans, War of Clans, sorry. It's an MMO strategy game socially, well, it's orientated to the social aspects of gaming, of course. That's why you have clans, right? You group up together, you try to build up a kind of multiple clans with your friends, and then ultimately you start taking on other people as well. You can do the global PvP, try to get your village to fight against other villages, and yeah, you know, build up that city, get yourself some nice stuff going, and we would very much appreciate it, you know, if you give it a go. I mean, it's been very, very popular on mobile gaming for a really long time. It's available now on PC as well, so if you're looking for something to do while, you know, you kind of want to scratch that multitasking itch that you could have, this could be a pretty darn cool game, right? A lot of people already investing into it in a sense with that time, yeah, heck of a lot of downloads on this game. So if you want to check it out, put the exclamation mark Vikings command in the chat, and you're going to be able to get yourself a link, and then you'd be helping us out. You'd be helping out StarCraft. You're going to be able to try out this game, and yeah, would be much appreciated. All right. Anyway, we have a little bit of a moment here where we do wait for Elazer to see what he wants to do. Waiting for a second until he is ready to go again. Apparently there's something happening. I'm not quite sure, but something Polish is happening, guys. That is for certain. All right. All right. I did not drink enough water today. I kind of lacked water today. I went to get myself a passport, so that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. That was pretty much my day. Going to the, how do you call it? I suppose it's called a governmental building, government building. How do you call this? It's not a courthouse. It's the... I'm not certain, actually. I'm not quite certain at all. Anyway, regardless of all of that, let's see these plays. That is the important bit here, of course. The embassy. Isn't an embassy, but would it be an embassy if it's the place that you go to from your own country, right? The embassy to the Netherlands in the Netherlands. Okay, if we all put our European brains together, right? If we all try to activate the bilingual brains that we have as Europeans, we may be able to get this sorted, get this idea in our head. Also, maybe there's some Americans here that could teach us because it's your main language. So who knows? Who knows? Anyway. Here we go. In the top left side, we have ourselves a red Terran player. Government Services Offices. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, actually. Who knows? Anyway, top left side, red Terran. Fighting Cosmos Esports. One game behind so far. Can he tie it up once more? He is souL. And bottom right side, the other Polish player right here in the blue. He's the Zerg. He's from XCOM Agu. He is Elazer. Alright, you know what? Time to Google Translate this. Time to learn myself some English. It's about time. Translate. City Hall. It's called City Hall. There we go. We got there. It's called City Hall, apparently. At least that's what Google Translates calls it. City Hall, yeah. I remember now because that's the song from Tenacious D, isn't it? Where they go take over City Hall. Suddenly I'm like, oh right, that's right. But usually City Hall is the city's mayor's building. Ah, I see. I see. Yeah, the mayor did not give me my passport. I was not important enough apparently. Unless if I don't... Oh, I don't know actually who the mayor is, so who knows? Who knows? Maybe it was the mayor. Not certain. Could be different in Europe than NA. That's true. Can have a lot of surfaces too. Yeah. Anyway, what's happening in this game? Not quite a lot, is there? I mean, we're catching all the Reaper circling action here. I mean, we've all seen this a couple of times already, haven't we? No kills just quite yet. No creep Tombstat did go down. Not much. Not much. City Hall. Are they like... Oh, It also says community home, but I don't... That doesn't sound right to me. It doesn't quite sound right to me. I've never heard anybody say community home in that context before. Community center? That would sound better already, right? Community center, in a way. Maybe. Come on, center. Yes. Yes, we found the answer. There we go. I went to the command center. They gave me a passport. Now I'm ready to go to Char to combat Kerrigan. Alright. Another armory here on the way. So it looks like, again, souL going to be aiming for the Hellbed push. Now, it did... I mean, the one game he won, right? It was off the back of a Hellbed push. Now, it didn't do much, that Hellbed push, to be fair. Really didn't seem to do much of anything, but... You have to go to your local barracks to go to Char. I don't know, wouldn't the barracks I go to be already on Char, though? Huh. Maybe you have to go to the... Who knows? Maybe there's just a battle cruiser somewhere that's landed that I can take across the medevac that will fly me over there. The Ling here is not going to be able to come in here, but to be fair, I mean... How prepared is Elazer here? He doesn't have a Baneling Nest just quite yet, so this could be rather a hurtful experience. More Hellions coming in on this left side as well, as the Hellbeds are chasing those drones there. Those drones are looking rather close to those Hellbeds. Too close for comfort, and immediately 22 of them do fall right now. That's a ton of drones to lose at the start of all of this. I mean, already looking a lot better here for souL than it did that previous time. I used drop bots to land on Char. This is right, actually. That is correct. Okay, well, that is a fantastic opener, isn't it? 22 workers just like that. 23. 24? Not 24. Close, though. That was a close one. The bats walk out of the front door. That's right. Nothing to see here. Move along, please. Just gonna continue onwards. Shutting down this mining as well. Again here, more Hellions trying to get some kills. We'll be able to pick off quite a few. Liberator once more being able to be absolutely horrendously annoying right there. 5 kills on it so far. That's 10 more workers. 32 workers. 32 workers. Elazer is going to have to dig deep to try and figure this one out here. to get himself back into a winnable position. The working count is still equal, but that's not what you kind of want to see as a Zerg. I suppose he does have another base, right? He's one base up on the Terran, so he's going to have a lot of overall larvae production to try and catch up in this department. If this was your ladder game, you'd already be queuing up for the next one. Yeah, I mean, if you were the Terran in this sense, you'd probably be like, well, I mean, why are you still here? You must be having something on the way. And that one thing that we're seeing here, the attempt that Elazer is going to be making will be those Mutalisk. Looks like he has skimped out on Banelings here in order to get more Mutalisk out, but ultimately there's already a pack of Marines here trying their best to kill off this hatchery right there. No more circling passports will be coming out of that one. It's gonna get shut down immediately. And these Marines, I mean, these will go down ultimately, but there's already a new pack available right there. And the one bright light that I just highlighted there for Elazer, him having an extra base also gone out of the window right now. Also, it seems very far, like a distant past, a happy memory there for Elazer that is no returning to. Now these Mutalisk, I mean, this is his one way, right? This is the one way to victory here. Perhaps these Mutalisk need to do a ton of harassment, a ton of value, and ultimately souL staying on the ball right now, not letting these Mutalisk get much of anything done so far. Being zoned out to the extreme. Medevacs here with more Marines. Even if both of these groups do get cleaned up, it's still going to be a difficult one here for... How is that Marauder alive? Man. Some extra padding in his armor today. Anyway, Zerglings. Oh, with a mine. Ah, nice drag into the Marines there, actually. So another cleanup here for the Mutalisk, but... I mean, there is another drop in the main base again, finding quite a bit of damage. The Liberator has returned as well again. 14 kills right now on that one. The spawning pool does immediately get recreated this time for Elazer here, so we'll make sure that that will not become a problem. But ultimately, this is starting to spiral even further out of control here for Elazer as he's losing more and more workers. GG, there it is. Tying up the series one more time. Mr. souL bringing it back 2-2. And that means that both these players, once again, I mean, now we're basically in a best-of-5 situation. Not too bad. And I was wondering when I saw the Ligulag here from these two, right? I thought to myself, wow, this is going back and forth a lot, actually. Right, so let me kind of give you guys the rundown here, right? So the previous time was in the Alpha X Rumble. The Alpha X Rumble was a little Alpha X tournament, a best of 5, 2-3 versus, well, for Elazer in that sense. The previous time before that was going into souL's favor, the ESL Open Cup Europe, a best of 3, 2-1. Before that, 3-1 in favor for souL, another best of 5. And then Elazer winning again. So these guys absolutely going back and forth on that department. Let's see then who won the previous time. Elazer won the previous time. So you know what? Maybe that means souL will win this one. Who knows? Who knows? Also, Fancy TYTY Fanboy. What's up, my man? Welcome to the stream. Glad you could join us for a little bit of StarCraft 2 action. Glad to see you making use of that command as well for the Vikings. Very much appreciate it, man. If you try it out, do a little bit of the tutorial and such. Get yourself acclimated to this game. See if you like it or not. You know, if you don't like it, no harm, no foul. But ultimately, you know what? We very much appreciate anybody downloading and trying it out through the link that we provide and checking out that game right there. Anyway, let me... Oh, God. Okay, we're already starting. I was like, let me run an ad quick before we get into the game and stuff may go wrong here. I'm pretty certain we'll be okay. I feel confident. You know, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. We'll have to be on top of it, though, for the next... Oh, God, my StarCraft crashed. Well, that is fun. That is fun. Okay. We may have to improvise here for a short moment. Let me boot it up. See if they actually rehost here for me. Would be very awfully kind of them. But ultimately, I'm not... Yeah, they should. They should, right? They probably should. But then again, I know pro gamers. And I know they sometimes don't care that much about casters. Sometimes... life isn't fair. And you drop your box of chocolates on the ground. Alright. That's unfortunate. Oh, shoot. Accidentally inviting young Yakov there. Axe Woodoo, thank you for joining us with the Viking. Alright, so are they or are they not remaking this? I'm not completely certain. Otherwise, I may have to improvise some streaming stuff right now. Okay, so let me get this. And get this rolling. Okay, they're still, I think they're still in the loading screen as well. It's always awkward, isn't it? Always a little bit awkward. Right, I'm in contact. I'm in contact with Matisse right now. Okay, they're going to read. They are going to read, so that's nice. That's lovely. That is fantastic. Let me close this down again. Okay, we're not going to be missing anything here. We don't have to watch it without sound. That is good. That is good. Where are you from, Mr. Kosen? Would you believe me if I told you I am from... Alabama? From Iowa. That's right. I actually am from Char. My main occupation is being an ultralisk. That's what I do. Alright, we're recreating this one. Nice. Nice. My apologies, guys, but this gives me a moment to do this, though. Sorry. So, oh, no, wait, we're not even allowed to do the ad for Twitch now, so that's good. That's good. Alright. Let's hope these guys won't hate me too much. Wasting everybody's time. Most of your career getting murdered by Hydralisk. I see, I see. Oh, those are pesky fellas, honestly. Nobody likes them either from our own battalion. A little bit high and mighty. Alright. Actually, I'm just an overlord hovering over the battle, pretty much. That pretends to be an ultralisk sometimes. Trying to chomp on people with his tentacles. Okay. Okay, we're good. But yeah, I am actually from the Netherlands. Perhaps double O already showing that, though. giving you the inside information. How does he know? How does he know, though? Okay, let me apologize. Hope they won't mind too much. Probably because of your surname, good sir. It sounds Dutch. Well, I mean, it's a good point. Fair point. You're from Braxis. It's called here. Braxis. Where in the world is Braxis? Braxis. Is that a StarCraft thing as well? Oh yeah, it's an inhospitable a planet where you can't live. Inhospitable? In place where you don't want to be. Cold planet. During the Brood War, a Protoss army assisted Sarah Kerrigan, overcame the Dominion defenses, and retrieved Uria. I see. The Protoss settlers were driven away when a series of violent psionic storms rocked the planet. That's interesting. I never knew those could occur naturally as well. Could occur naturally as well. That is weird. Inhabitable, inhospitable. That's a word I need to practice. Anyway, top right side, it's a red Terran player fighting for Cosmos Esports. He right now did just tie up the series 2-2. He is souL. Give it up if you like to see a Terran win. If you want to see the Zerg win, though, in the blue side of things here, bottom left, we have ourselves a Zerg you can cheer for. He is the one and only XCOM Aguz Elazer. A very, very strong Zerg overall. Has been around the block for a while. To be fair, so has souL, of course, the prime practice partner in ZvT for souL, a player we all know as well. So yeah. Overall, it's getting harder to predict this one, isn't it? Not quite sure what these players are going to be bringing here. We have been seeing quite a couple of those Hellbat pushes, and they have been working out for souL, right? Every single time he does a Hellbat push, it works, even if the Hellbat push doesn't really work. Which is interesting. Not what you expect overall, but hey. It's kind of what seemed to be happening here. Also, before I forget to point out, there seems to be a spawning pool first here, coming out of Elazer. Elazer is sending these links across the field here, hoping to avoid the Reaper, I suppose, right? But ultimately, souL going for the SCV Scout also, and will already have the indicator that this is on the way, right? So, realizes that he needs to keep this Reaper at home. The links, honestly, the links probably want to move back. Probably want to move back across the field again. I won't be able to find much of anything here on the other side. Maybe they're going to hang around until they get speed and then try to run in or something like that. Worth a try overall, but ultimately, yeah, the Reaper is still here. Elazer realizing that it's not going to be the case. There was a little bit of a hiding going on, right? souL sending that Reaper outside of vision range, but Elazer not falling for it. Will not be tricked so easily. Will not be thrown under the bus by such a easy maneuver. Such an easy little trick. Hyens and Banshees looking to be like they will be on the menu here. Unless if we get ourselves a fusion core with this one as well. I don't suppose that we will, of course. I mean, otherwise we don't need this tech lab all that much. We're making a medevac? Oh, could it be? Could it be him trying to hide the fact that it will be a medevac? That could be the case, right? I mean, he's still getting cloak as well. Oh, is this a misclick? Could it be? Could it be a misclick? Is he gonna go into Banshee after this? Okay, he's gonna go into Banshee after this. That's the plan. That's the plan. It must be. There it is. Okay. So Elazer doesn't see the tech lab researching. And seeing this medevac first actually is a good way to kind of make things seem normal, right? Make it appear like everything is going according to the standard rules of TVZ so far. The meta has been followed. The medevac, you know, sometimes not all this early though, of course. I suppose the Banshee also a way to be the meta, right? Not that far removed from the meta, actually. Pretty much the meta as well, actually, now that I think about it. Very, very common. Huh. Why do we have a laser in the Twitch chat right now? I think that must be another player called Elazer, right? Fan of sorts. It's actually you. Alright. That's funny because, you know, we have you in-game as well. It's weird. Weird how that stuff goes, huh? Layer attack on the way here for Elazer. The real Elazer. Really Elazer, you know. I mean, I'm really Kozan and this is really Elazer. What attack is he going for? Watch me make some pains in this. I mean, you did just lose 10 of your workers, mate. That is not a good way to do this. You may wanna watch the game a little bit more so you don't lose this amount of workers. Actually, this is starting to ramp up quite a bit here. souL finding so much damage right now. More workers falling absolutely everywhere. Oi, 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 oi. 21, 23. How many more can we get? Looks like 23. 23, not bad though. It's pretty darn good. It's pretty darn good here. 23, only 3 SCVs gone down in total. Couple of Hellions here, and ultimately that is a wonderful trade here for souL. souL setting up shop rather nicely. He's still behind a little bit on the workers overall, and he does still have that third base as well. And most likely this is going to be a follow-up with the Marines right here. It's going to have to bulk up a little bit for 1 or 2 minutes. And ultimately it's going to start sending out those units here. You guys are distracting me. I think it would be cool to call yourself the real Lazer. Real Lazer. Make Mutas. Mutalisk wouldn't be too bad, but we're going for the Hydralisk gear for Elazer. As souL is setting up shop once more here on this side of the map. The Banelings are behind the Queens, taking a little bit, so looks like we will be getting another siege tank shot in here. Banelings, all of them do get targeted down. 1 more remains, but ultimately these Marines are going to be incredibly difficult for the Queens to clean up here. There we go, the Mariners continuing onwards, trying their best to get on top of those Queens, get the damage sorted, but you know, it looks like most of them will stay alive right now. Only one of them falls. More reinforcements though on the way, on the path towards the capturing of the Pillars of Gold here from the Zerg side of the map as well. Why take, you know, a pleasure just having your own golden pillars when you can have the ones of your opponents also. More Marines are getting a little bit cleaned up here with just the pure Zerglings. Overall, not the most efficient way to get this sorted, but ultimately, you know what? Okay, as well. Someone, new Viking, much appreciated. Someone. Why best of 9? Because best of 9s are amazing. The best way, or one of the best ways to really see how people kind of take on a longer series, right? How they transition, how they change up their tactics. Oh my dear lord, a lot of Hydralisk stuff falling here. This may just start to snowball right now, guys. Honestly, souL's getting so much work done and really keeping Elazer on the back foot. More links are dying off right now. Those Hydras, they are gonna have a rough time overall. They're gonna have to respect those Marines here. Zerglings show up to help out the cause, though. More units here as well, looking for a little bit of a push on the left side. That's quite a couple. That is quite a couple indeed. If they catch those Zerglings and Hydras there, they will not. They will be able to... Oh, well, maybe they will, actually. All that thought. Oh, my God. Elazer on a move commands right now. Not all too pretty to see. But on the right side, he is going to move forward again. Did he just forget that he has a Baneling Nest? We're not seeing a lot of Banelings here. Okay, 7 right now on the way, but... Is it too little? Is it too late? He's going to try to do a counterattack here as Mr. souL tries to get more expansions going. The Banelings that were being moved now being picked off. Only 2 of them remain and they are gone. There's 1 Baneling. Where is this Baneling? There it is. It's coming in, guys. We need it over here. Come on, Baneling. You can do it. Oh, no, it's too late. GG is called. Elazer, no face in that 1 Baneling. I don't blame him. It was a tough thing for him to blow up. Had to have eaten quite a bit of spicy food to properly explode over all of those Marines. Anyway, souL taking the lead right now. It's 3-2, being able to set up shop rather nicely on that map. Golden Pillars, of course. All off the back of that, the Banshee and the Hellion Harassment. Getting like 23 drones. That is nothing to scoff at, right? Having to replenish those means that you have less links, means that you have less banelings, means that you have a less quick transition overall, and all that stuff makes things quite difficult. Rather difficult. Incredibly difficult. Anyway. Hopefully it's going to work out a little bit better here for Elazer in the next one, as we are waiting for the next one, of course. I'm gonna try to remember what the games were. I can't remember because I disconnected, so I can't scroll back up and pretend like I'm remembering here. souL style. You once thought souL is Korean. I mean, to be fair, he kind of looks Korean in a way, right? Just his playstyle. Also, I need to get in this lobby. So yeah, his playstyle looks Korean in a way. He's incredibly good. He's called souL, right? I mean, capital of Korea. So, pretty darn good. Capital of esports, I suppose, more so. So yeah. You know what? I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I think it's a fair assessment. I mean, if you wanna be the prime practice partner of souL, that is there's gotta be a little bit of Korean inside of you, right? Buddha's Hand and Dorama SC2, as well as the real RD92, Grave 187, Koilia Flet, Dr. Zose, CJ the Bat, Rav, X3N, Lost Lucidity 5. Very much appreciate all the follows as well, guys. Hope you guys are having a good time with the StarCraft 2 as we are just having a little bit of a best of 9 here between souL and Elazer. Having ourselves a ball. That's a very quick scout. It's a very quick backup scout also. Interesting. What could it be, guys? What could this mean? Scratch your beard. Well, could be anything. Another backup scout. Oh my god. Starting to look like an SCV rush at this point in time. But we know better, of course. It is going to be the triple Rex right here. Very, very aggressive of souL. And you know what? Now that he is ahead, he's finally doing something like this. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. I wonder if Elazer is going to be expecting it, right? We've had like 5 games already in front of this when nothing like this is happening at the moment. But, you know what? This is a fortunate pathing for this Overlord to take. The barracks a little bit too close to the Overlord's pathing here. We'll be able to get everything in sight. Sees all 3 of them. Let's see what his reaction will be. Cancels the gas infects. Oh my, that is a interesting one. Okay, so cancelling the gas here. What does that mean for him? Is he going to try to just hold this off with spine crawlers and lings and queens? That would be quite a feat, not gonna lie. I'm kind of used to seeing against the triple Rex just going for the roaches, right? And as long as you keep the bunkers from coming up, even if the bunkers come up, it's oh he cancels the 3rd barracks. All right, this is weird. This is getting into weird territory here. Okay, there is that spawning pool. All the drones are being pulled here, trying to get themselves right on top of that bunker. The bunker not cancelled. So that's a bit of a waste there of the money right now for souL. souL trying to get himself ready for the micro here. Lovely drone micro there, drilling on through. Oh, the low HP drone came back around, trying to come in for round number 2 and getting punished rather heavily right there. And maybe we're going to see souL actually tricking Elazer here a little bit into over-preparing against what is coming his way. Still has that spine crawler, but already going back into droning here. So a great hold overall from souL and for Elazer, and it's going to be difficult for souL to see where he wants to take this towards, right? I mean, where could you want to take this towards? Now that you're in this awkward position with 2 barracks floating across the field. Is he going to make Reapers? This could be it, right? He could start building like 2 Reapers at a time and try to make a transition into this. No, he's going to continue onwards with the marine production. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Peculiar. Very much so. Alright, yeah, I'm not quite certain what he is planning to do with this. Maybe he's just going for a 1-base timing attack. It's kind of what it's looking like, right? He's getting himself a Hellion. He's gonna grab another armory here, perhaps. I'm not certain. Well, it's some unknown territory for me here, guys. So let's just look at what Elazer's doing. Elazer happily droning away. He's grabbing himself a 3rd base. And that could come to harm him, right? As we do see souL getting ready for another attack right now. Elazer doesn't have any eyes across the field here either. He doesn't have an Overlord nearby. He doesn't have a Ling somewhere running around the 3rd bases or even a natural base, right? So he has no idea what is coming his way. Alright, there we go. Another armory. So that was just a lucky guess of mine, but apparently it was correct. There is an armory on the way. It's going to be another Hellbat push right now for Mr. souL, and well, we've said it once, we will say it twice. Hellbat pushes seem to be working rather well for this Polish Terran player. Just bulking up more and more of those Marines here, looking to get himself sorted. 5 Marines now moving across the field. That's gonna be a weird little squadron, right? Okay, Elazer's starting up immediately. 12 more Zerglings. And the SCVs get pulled as well. Oh my dear lord, this is a weird one. Okay, target down the Spine Crawler. The Spine Crawler, the main defense here, really. If that falls, there's not that much except for Queens that can really stand against this type of attack right now. I mean, even if you're gonna make a lot of links, right? Those Hellbats are gonna absolutely demolish any type of Ling attack, especially with those SCVs also coming in right now. The Medevac healing away the Hellbats as well. This is such a extraordinary weird attack. I've not seen this all too often, but man, oh man, it is suddenly coming out of the woodworks here, and Elazer just entirely unprepared. Not much he can do at this point in time anymore, I would say, except for extreme micro. The Lings, they're trying their best. The Spine Crawler's trying to be creative as well, but quick target fire gonna make short work of those guys. And, well, what do you even do at this moment in time, right? Going for the Hellbats right now, right on top of those drones here. Oh, God. Oh, that is a rough one. Getting on top of those links as well. GG. Well, oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, Elazer over-droning there. Making another base as well at a moment in time where he should have stayed on 2 base. Make a baning nest. And just prepare for this attack, right? So, yeah, he didn't scout it. Didn't see that there was... Even just seeing that there's no second base, which may be difficult because the second base could be building, of course, in the main base, right? So, I think you kind of have to rely on an Overlord scout in that moment, right? Because... Or just see the overall barracks flying backwards. That would also be a way to do it. Just have like one Ling on the barracks as they're flying back home to ensure that they're actually going back home. Yeah, a Ling or 2 scouting the barracks refused to follow up pretty easily. Yeah. Scout, build 5 spines, profit. Or profit. Really bad play. Yeah, it wasn't that great, honestly. But then again, like souL indicating or noticing that those links are not keeping tabs on him, seeing that those barracks do manage to evacuate and not being watched anymore, and going for a smart play. So that's the one way you can get a quick scout off on all of this and shut it down rather nicely. I mean, you could get spines, you could get banelings, you could just get more zerglings as well, I suppose, with queens. As long as you don't overdrone, as long as you don't go for another base again, you should be okay. Anyway, what's this? Is this a big tournament? It is just a little bit of a best of 9 match that's happening here. We're doing a bit of a sponsored stream with the Vikings overall. And we needed something, right? We needed something to stay on the woodworks here. To be able to get ourselves a bit of a content going here to inform you guys about our new sponsor, the Vikings. It's just for this one stream, to be fair, but yeah, we're hoping to get a little bit of interaction here, get ourselves a bit more value overall, right? Get paid for some of the stuff we do here at Alpha X, pretty much. It's what it comes down to. Right? I know passion is the fuel for the most of the stuff that is going on in Alpha X. It's the it isn't the most profitable esports overall for organizations and such, but you know what? We love it. We love this game, and we want to keep it going. And you know what? In particular, with this type of stuff as well. Anyway, it's a fun little game. You know, if you like this type of stuff, you know what? Give it a go. Try it out. It's on PC now as well. A lot of people have liked it already, so who knows? Who knows? Maybe you're going to be able to scratch that multitasking itch with something like this. Anyway. In the top left sides of the map, we have ourselves a blue Terran player fighting for the Cosmos Esports. He is souL. He's on match point right now, so my dear lord, that went quick. Went back and forth continuously, and suddenly Elazer here in the top, bottom right side, the pink Zerg, Go Esports, is in trouble. He is on his last leg. He is hanging by a thread. And I would love to see him take another match here so we can have a little bit more StarCraft overall. I wouldn't mind at all myself, but anyway. Anyway, let's see where he will be able to take this. There's that command center on the low ground. No spawning pool first this time either. Would have been another way, right? Just going for the spawning pool first against those proxy barracks. Very quick way to shut something like that down. Man, that was some massive mind games right there. To be fair, like how often, like we're calling Elazer out in a way, right? We're saying like, oh, all you do is put a Ling on top of the barracks and you should be okay. You're gonna win, easy peasy. But at the same time, I mean, how often do you see barracks floating to another point in the map, just dropping down and starting to make more Marines. And then in his own base, he's making Hellions to go for like a one-base Hellbat Marine medevac push, right? How often does that happen? How often do people do this? It's not that much. It's not that much. And how often do people send their links after the barracks to ensure that they're actually floating them backwards? I don't see it happen all that often, honestly. So maybe it's just something that people are going to have to start doing in the future if this is something that more Terrans are going to be incorporating into their builds. But still. Elazer did just not scout that Terran did not get a natural. I mean, the natural as well, right? It could have been building in his main base, and souL did have a couple of Hellions in front, denying any scouting. Even had some Marines, I believe, as well at the front or something like that. But it's just a weird one overall. And oh my dear lord, souL, can you? Oh my god, he's doing it again, guys. There's the Hellbat push. There's the armory. More Hellions on the way. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? 2 Evo chambers here and a Baneling. No, wait, actually, that's the Baneling nest and an Evo chamber. My bad. My bad. So, Elazer, he's starting to get a little bit ready here. He still needs that Baneling nest to complete, and he needs to start building some Baneling. So, it's still, he needs time right now. He needs to get himself as much time as possible. This hatchery will be completed. He needs this to get him more moment of rest where he will be able to start building the defenses that he needs to hold against this. Yeah, he's got a Spire on the way as well. It's gonna hunt down those Marines, so we'll be able to shut that down, but the hatchery does fall, and ultimately that is seemingly going to be enough here for souL already. We'll move into a bit more of a harassment style with the Hellions and the medevac into the main base instead. Links are on the ball, though. We'll be able to shut this down for now. But still, yeah, losing that third base. It's not a good spot to be at. It's definitely a, definitely kind of bad, right? Not a great place. Okay, Queen's gonna be able to shut this down for the rest. Another third base is on the way. Medevac and 2 Hellions do fall, so, you know, a small victory that for souL. Ultimately, though, oh dear lord. I mean, for Elazer, well, just as I say it, though, right? More stuff is going sideways here. We do have the Spire being done. Oh, my bad. I wanted to select this one. It did get scouted, though. How is souL preparing for this? He could have just kind of assumed that this was a Spore Crawler as well, because there was a Liberator there, so maybe that is what he's anticipating here. We're not seeing any missile turrets. Okay, well, never mind. That is actually missile turrets coming up right now. Oof. I don't know. I mean, guys, in the end, right? It is an easy scout to do, but in the end as well, I mean, it's a very difficult thing to anticipate. Like, this is... I've watched a lot of StarCraft. I haven't seen that very often. Right? I have not seen that very often. Maybe not at all. And... You know, overlords, they are rather slow. You don't send them all that much too far out. But anyway. It's just a very smart play overall from souL. Those Mutalisks, they are not having a great day. So, yeah, honestly, like, I don't think you... It's a hard thing to fault Elazer for, right? It was just so unexpected. Maybe now that he's seen it once... Maybe it's going to be like, alright, so I guess I just have to send a link after those barracks when I'm playing against souL in particular, or a Terran play to ensure that they are not just dropping it down. That's the cool thing about StarCraft in a way, right? Still new stuff is coming in. Still new stuff is still being utilized, and well, Elazer here, he's falling apart a little bit, guys. It is a bit of a rough one. I'm still a little bit perplexed, perhaps, with the previous game that we saw, but ultimately, I mean, this is the real one right now, of course, where we're seeing whether or not Elazer is going to be able to come back into this series right now. 16 SCVs, that's a good start. That's a solid start, but I mean, ooh. If this just wasn't here, this would be a good spot for Elazer right now, but unfortunately this is here. And unfortunately for Elazer, this is going to clean up this base once more, and it's the second time he loses his third base location. The counterattack is commencing here, but there does seem to be more reinforcements than needed for souL to hold this back. And the Banelings here. The Banelings actually will be able to come in, rolling down the track, coming right on top of these units. So he cleans up the attack once more, but ultimately, yeah, he lost all his Mutalisks there, actually. I was not expecting him to lose those Mutalisks. Anyway, that's a GG. That is a GG. souL taking out Elazer. 5-2, and that was not what I was expecting at all anymore after seeing the first opening games, right? Elazer taking the first map very convincingly, and then all of a sudden it just kind of fell apart there for him ultimately. And souL, you know what? Making great use of those hell bets, making great use of those pushes and those timings, and that's rough. I don't know why he lost them. Yeah, I was not anticipating him losing the Mutalisk. Maybe he just kind of got overconfident, sent him in to try and get the production facilities, and while he was trying to micro the Banelings back at home as well. You know, that could be the case. That could definitely be the case. Anyway, Isra as well. Thank you for the follow. Kirk Dude as well. Idril FTW. Much appreciated, guys. Hope you guys are enjoying these StarCrafts overall in this channel. We'll be doing a lot more StarCraft, of course, coming up. Not to mention, I mean, tomorrow we have the King of Battles continuing onwards as well, with Zombie Grub joining us again. And we'll have ourselves an absolute blast with Rainer, Innovation, Cure, and, oh dear, I should not forget the last one, and Nice, of course, a fellow Alpha X player. There we go. So 4 players will be joining us there. We'll do 2 best of 3s to open up. It's like a regular GSL format group with 4 players, 2 best of 3s, but then the winners match, the siders match, and the loser match all going to be best of 5. So will be a lot of fun. Will be a lot of fun, and yeah, tomorrow Zombie Grub will be joining again. We'll be taking in the greatness and the grandeur of the King of Battles once more. The biggest tournament we've been able to do as Alpha X so far. And hopefully more to come. Hopefully more to come. Of course, helping out with stuff like this are sponsors. And one of our sponsors today is the Vikings, guys. I will be going in to play some of that as well right now for you fellas. For your fine lads. If that is not your cup of tea,